Hey guys, so today we are going to be upgrading the side markers on my 10th gen Honda Civic. So mine's a 2020 Civic Sport. This original side markers, they don't actually blink with the blinkers. They always are running. They're this really light orange color. I tinted them in the past to make them look a little bit better, but I'm going for something that's LED and looks a lot better. So let's get started. So today we are reviewing the Bestview LED turn signals off of Amazon. They were fairly inexpensive in comparison to the other ones. So what we've got here, we've got the little instruction manual here. It goes over some of the steps, and it's actually a half decent instruction manual in comparison to some of the other ones you get on Amazon. We won't be needing that since I'm showing you how. We have the actual turn signals here. You can kind of see there, I've got the smoked ones. You can see the LEDs on the side, and then all the connectors are on the back. And then it comes with all the wiring and everything you're going to need to install them. So let's get started on the actual install. Alright, so here's my factory side marker here. I do have this one tinted. So to get started, we're going to be taking out that screw there and that screw there. I've got my wire cutters and my Phillips screwdriver here. These are the only tools we'll be needing for this job. We're not actually cutting any of the factory wiring on the car, and I'll explain that here in a second. Alright, so I've got these two screws out here, and so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this liner here. This liner here pulls out. So that's all we really need to do there. Now the side marker is held in by a clip, and you can kind of see right there, there's a plastic clip there. So if you go in there and you push on this part right here, push on that, and it pops right out. So we'll just go ahead and undo the wiring connector there, and I'll show you how to transfer that over. Alright, so I've got my side markers here. Here's my factory one. So all we're going to be doing here with this is we're going to go ahead and turn that connector there and pull it out. And here's the bulb, and that bulb is going to need to come out. So we'll go ahead and take that bulb out like this. And then, so you can see there, that's where the bulb sat before. So we're going to go ahead and set that connector right there and slide it in where the bulb was, just like that. And then on this connector here, there's one side that's a little bit wider. You can see there, it's that V-shaped one. So that one there's one groove that's bigger than the other, so it's going to sit in there like that. And then you'll turn it and see it the same way the factory one was, just like that. So now that we have that light set up, we're going to be using this wire that's included with it. So this wire here is going to plug on right there with that connector, and then I'll show you how to feed it through. Okay, so for this next part, feeding the wire through, it does help if you have something to actually pull it up and through. So I went ahead and I found this old piece of wire that was sitting in our shop, twisted the end there, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to feed it down. You can kind of see the opening down there. If it focuses, it's not going to. There's an opening down there. You can see where the side marker was. Feed it through, and I'm just going to take the end of that wire and I'm going to tie it through this loop. You don't need to worry about the wire getting messed up because that wire is way longer than we're actually going to use. So I'll go ahead and get that fed through and show you what's next. Alright, so I've got the wire fed up through here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remount that side marker up there. I would record it here, but I'm not very good at working with one hand. So I'm going to go ahead and get it plugged in and move on to actually connecting that wire to the blinker wire. Alright, so our next step here is going to be removing the connector for the blinker. So the connector for the blinker is this one right here. Let's see, this one right here. So this one, it's a pretty small connector. You just push on the tab on the back there, and it goes ahead and pulls out. So this one right here, it's only got the 2 pins in it. But you can see you've got the black wire there and the red wire there. So we're going to go ahead and cut back some of the shielding here and expose more of the red wire, and I'll show how to splice it. Alright, so I've got some of that shielding pulled back and the wire spread apart there. So like I was saying before, this one here is going to be the one we're actually tying to. We're going to be using this here to splice. I'll show you, it has these little grooves there. And the purpose of those is it slides around the wire. And it cuts back the plastic around the wire, but it doesn't actually cut through the wire. So that way you're not risking cutting it through the actual factory wiring. This can be undone later on. You can just pull out that little metal clip after it's crimped. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to crimp it on there. So you just slide the connector over the factory wire, and you run this through the other side. You can kind of see there's two little loops there. Once you do that, you take the pliers and you smash down that metal part over the two wires, and this here will clip over the whole connector, and it snaps on the back there. So I'll show it once I've got it on. Alright, so as you can see what I did here, I ran both wires through there, and then I pushed down on that metal tab and it pushed it over the wires. Neither of them got cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this, and it snaps over it like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut off this excess wire here with the wire cutters. We're not going to need that for anything else. So I would like to add that that connector that they include is actually a little bit large for the wire that they supply with it. That little thin red wire is a really small wire. And so that connector didn't quite crimp all the way down on the wire. And I ended up having to go back and strip off a little bit of the wire and feed it back through. And so what that did is it made it so that the wire actually made contact with that little metal piece, so that the blinker function on the side markers actually worked. Without doing that, I wasn't able to get it to work, and it did that on both sides. So I'm going to guess when you guys do it, you'll have that issue. So you can either do what I did and go ahead and fold the wire over and strip it a little bit beforehand, or you can just get the smaller splicing components. The red ones, I believe, are the smaller size, and so you might try getting a couple of those. Alright, so now that we've got the extra wire cut off there, we can go ahead and plug it back in. Remember, it's the plug that sits up high right under this little support beam here in the front. So we can get that plugged in, and that should be all. Now, just before we're totally finished with this, do remember you do have to put this liner back in place over here. And it kind of goes over like that, and put the screws back in. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. I'm happy the side markers turned out well. They're fairly inexpensive and didn't have very many reviews on Amazon, so I was a little skeptical just because there wasn't a whole lot on there. But I actually prefer how they look over a lot of the more expensive ones on Amazon, and I'm glad I took the chance because it all worked out really well, and I think they look really nice. So anyone who's interested, I'll have the link for those below, so you can go ahead and check those out. So thanks for watching. Go ahead and leave a like and subscribe so I can keep making similar content. I'll catch you guys next time.